Number 15 looks for us to solve this trinomial. All right, here, this is a degree 2. So here we are looking to first factor it. So let's factor it. Let's set up our dashes here. That's a 1 times 21. So that is just 22. 1 times 22, which is just 22. We're trying to find two numbers that multiply to make that 22. That adds up to that b term, which is 13. Those two numbers are, let's see, 1 and 22. No, 2 and 11. That works. 2 times 11 is 22. 2 plus 11 is 13. Next, you want to divide by this ax term. So we're going to divide by 1x. This simplifies to just x plus 2 and x plus 11. Notice there is no simplifying step because the a here is equal to 1. Right. So this was standard form. Then we got it into something called factored form. But this is not solution because all we did was factoring. We did not get the solutions yet. To get it equal to a solution, notice it is equal to 0. So now you set each term equal to 0 because our goal is to go from factored form and then go here to get the solution. All right. So we set each term equals to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0 and x plus 11 is equal to 0. We minus 2 to both sides. The left side does cancel, leaving you with x is equal to negative 2. X plus 11 equals to 0, so we subtract 11 to both sides. This cancels, leaving you with x is equal to negative 11. So your two solutions are x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to negative 11 as your two solutions. Let's look at B here. All right. So notice to use the zero product property, it has to be equal to 0. So how do we get rid of a negative 1 and make it equal to 0? We're going to add 1 to both sides. The right hand side does cancel, leaving you here with a negative 9 on the left hand side. Bring everything else down, right? And we set it equal to 0. All right, let's set up our factors here. So two numbers that multiply to make negative 9. That adds up to this middle number of negative 8. So those numbers look like it is 1 and 9, 1 and 9, but the negative should probably be on the 9. Let's check that now. 1 times negative 9 is negative 9. 1 plus negative 9 is negative 8. That is correct. Then we want to divide by that 1x term. So your ax term, which is just a 1x. So your factors are x plus 1. And then x minus 9, and here we set it equal to 0. Okay, this is not the solution yet, it is just factored form. Now we set each part equal to 0 and solve. X plus 1 is equal to 0, and then you have an x minus 9 equals to 0, and now we solve. All right, so we subtract 1 to both sides. This cancels, leaving you with x is equal to negative 1. For the x plus 9 equal to 0, we add 9 to both sides, leaving you with x is equal to a positive 9. These are your two solutions. X is equal to negative 1 and x is equal to 9. All right, let's look at C. Again, to solve it, we have to use the zero product property. That requires this to be equal to 0. So here we have to subtract 15 to both sides. So the right hand side cancels, leaving you here with a 0. Bring everything else down. The 10x minus 15x is negative 5x. Bring everything down. X squared and the minus 14. Here we could set up our dashes. We're going to find two numbers that multiply to make that negative 14. And then you want to find a number that adds up to this middle value of negative 5. Those numbers look like it is 2 and 7. And the 7 is the negative. Let's check. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5. That is correct. We want to divide by that 1x term. So here it becomes in factored form x plus 2 and x minus 7. And we set that equal to 0. All right. So Now we can solve x plus 2 equals to 0 and x minus 7 is equal to 0. We add 2 to both sides to the first equation. The left side cancels, leaving you with x is equal to negative 2. The right hand side, x minus 7 equals to 0. We add 7 to both sides. The negative 7 and the 7 cancels, leaving you with x is equal to a 7. So your two solutions are x is equal to negative 2 and x is equal to 7. Those are your two solutions here. All right. So there you go. That is how you solve this second degree trinomial.